Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this very wonderful series of Dāmodarāṣṭakaṁ that we have seen till now, from shloka number 1 till 6, we have seen various different modes of Satyavrat Muni. And he has described it very nicely. The entire Leela of Damodar is described very nicely. Form of the Lord is described very nicely. The beautiful face of the Lord is described very nicely. And then he offered various prayers to the Lord saying, I am dukhi, please make me sukhi by giving you a darshan. And now finally, in last two verses, in the concluding verses, he's going to do something very, very great. He's going to keep, because see, these are the last verses, so he has to keep the best of the best thing in front of the Lord now. So in the second last verse, he speaks about a very, very important pastime for all the sense gratifiers and devotees. And we are in between. So it will be a very, very important pastime for all of us. And there he speaks about the two personalities, the sons of Kuvera. Who are they? Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. Therefore, the first line of this particular verse, 7th verse, starts as Kuveratmajau. Kuvera's Atmajau. Kuvera's sons. How many sons? Atmajau, two sons. Now what happened with them? There's a long pastime which we can go on for a good number of hours, but we'll see how much we can cover in whatever time we have. So Kuvera's son, Nala Kuvera and Manigriv. Now Kuvera is a big personality, by the way. Very, very, very rich. You can just imagine the treasurer of all the demigods means what? Demigods are all rich. Unke upar, their treasurer. So you can imagine how much rich they will be. And Kuvera and Lord Shiva have a very intimate connection. But obvious, then Kuvera and his sons would be going to the house of Lord Shiva very often and might be having good relationship. To such an extent that one day, these two personalities, Kuvera's two sons, Nala Kuver and Manigriv, so both of them, they decided, today we'll play in Lord Shiva's abode. They went to the dham firstly, and then in the holy waters of Mandakini, that is Ganges in the heavenly planet, they started playing. Now for your information, they were naked. They were not even wearing gamcha, no kopin, nothing, naked. And they were not the two people splashing water on each other like IYF boys do when they go for yatra. They had some other beautiful females also around. Now again, for your information, they didn't take females from the earthly planet. They had their associates in that heavenly abode. So in the heavenly abode itself, they got those different devis, different damsels of heaven. And then they had a nice time in the holy waters of Ganges. Firstly, they were in dham. Second, they were in waters. Third, they were naked in the waters with the naked females. And not just this, they had taken Varuni, the high class, first class, kick-giving drink of the heavenly planets people. Not like people of this world. When they drink, firstly it's so smelly. Very obnoxious smell comes from their mouth, from their body, from their behavior. They feel the kick, they kick others also in this world. But when it comes to drinking Varuni, it is described. Varuni is one of the drink, somras and things like that. So Varuni is one of the drink. So a drink which nourishes the body, gives the kick, keeps the person on a different platform altogether. Enjoy. And their eyes were completely intoxicated. And the girls who were there around them, they made them more intoxicated. And more importantly, their wealth, their father's wealth, made them even more intoxicated. Now you see, these personalities, how many offenses till now they've committed? Let's count. First, they were in the abode of Shiva, and they were there in the holy waters, and they were naked. So it is described, when we go to take river bath, there's no question of being naked. It's not that you're going around the swimming pool, so you can do whatever. It's a river. And in the Vedic culture, rivers are always personified. They are personified personalities. They are various devis. So we cannot enter naked any river. So they did that. This is the first offense. Second offense, they were not just there taking bath, taking 3 dips, and then praying, offering oblations. They are busy enjoying in the waters. With whom? With other naked females. Second offense. Third offense. Okay, playing with the naked females and then they themselves are naked, but they were intoxicated. This is the third offense. Their intoxication was internal and external. In one of the verses from Bhagavatam, 2 words are very important. Madhira mattau. So they were matta, they were intoxicated with what? Madhira. Second, Śrī Madhandau. Śrī, wealth. Madha, andha. They were blinded by being intoxicated by what? Śrī, that is wealth. Now these are the 2 things which intoxicate the person. Intoxication, that intoxicants, and second is wealth. Only when someone has wealth, the intoxication can happen with intoxicants. And when someone has wealth, here the word that is used is andha. Andha, blind. This is a very important thing that we have to analyze for ourselves. That when we get power and when we get money, what is our behavior? And when the power and money comes in the hands of someone and if that person becomes proud, that person naturally becomes offensive. And this offensive behavior that is there, that leads to their degradation for sure. And here, Nala Kuver and Manigriv, they were matta internally also with their wealth, the pride of wealth, and externally very nicely enjoying, not just alone, with so many females. Now here we understand very clearly that in this world, wealth is that culprit which degrades the person. But at the same time, wealth is needed. Therefore, it is described when the wealth is engaged in the service of the Lord, then that wealth is purified. If not, if just engaged in one's own sense gratification, that wealth becomes the cause of degradation of that particular person. And when it comes to devotees, there is no question of pride when it comes to wealth, because we understand very clearly that Lakshmi is Chanchala. She is there now, she will not be later. And devotees don't aspire to have Lakshmi very close to them. What they aspire is just Narayan, Krishna. And obviously it's a known fact. Prabhupada was very confident on this point. Just worship Krishna, Lakshmi, goddess of fortune, will follow. And he would tell various reporters, why do you think we have so much of opulence in ISKCON? Because we are worshippers of Krishna. Very clear. So in this way, Kuvera's 2 sons, enjoying in the dham, in the holy waters, intoxicated internally and externally, naked with females around them. Now there comes Narad Muni. How Narad Muni comes to which place, only Narad Muni knows. The reason behind that, and the way he arrives, in his own style. So Narad Muni comes there to that place, and all the females, they saw Narad Muni, and they immediately started covering their bodies. They knew very well he's a very, very powerful sage. If he gets offended, he will curse us. So very fearful of the curse. So what these females did was, they tried covering their body in various ways. So the gesture itself shows that they are shy. But then these two great personalities standing straight, and they might be thinking, "ये कहाँ रास्ता भूल के आ गए?" He does not understand. This is a place where sadhus have to come. This is a place for enjoyment. Sadhu should sit somewhere and chant Hare Krishna. What is he doing here? Nonsense. And they were there completely intoxicated. No form of any respect, no awe and veneration towards a great sage. He is Devarshi Narada. Even Kans would give respect to Devarshi Narada. And these people, they are supposed to be Devatas. They are just standing straight naked. And Narada Muni looked at them. And then Narada Muni, he speaks very, very wonderful verses and wonderful philosophy that how when someone has Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, in line with Kunti Maharani's prayer in the first canto, he says these are the 4 elements in someone's life which will destroy that person. Janma, high birth. These personalities had high birth. Aishwarya, wealth. They had a lot of wealth. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, education. Devatas means educated. And Shri, beauty. And obviously it is described, all the Devi Devatas who are there in the heavenly planet, they are very, very, very beautiful. Now it is described, either of the 4 can destroy a person. Here they had all 4. Wonderful. All 4. And there he goes on to speak a lot of things. Narada Muni, he speaks that when someone has these 4, the first thing that they get into is meat eating. They don't think about violence that they're committing. They just think about how they can gratify their senses. Therefore, as devotees, we have to be very, very careful. If we have either of these 4, if we don't have these 4, very nice. But if you have either of the 4, even one of it, it is a cause of destruction. So one should just make sure that we are not proud of all this. Because as soon as we become proud, Krishna goes away from us. Krishna left gopis in the middle of the night in the forest. What are we for him? Go. You're proud? Okay, go. Therefore, pride is something which Krishna does not like, but he gets attracted to that personality who is full of dainya bhav. That is humility. Therefore, we will see that all those great devotees in the past, in the present, and the ones who are going to impress and please Krishna in the future, one quality that you will see is atyanta dainyata. Very high level of dainyata, very high level of humility. All the time they consider themselves as not qualified for anything and everything that they receive in their life. And this dainyata bhav that is there is the crux of devotional service. Anyone who has got dainyata, anyone who has got humility, he conquers the Lord by that humility. I think in one of the class we were speaking about Rupa Goswami and Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami's humility to such an extent. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Dainya chhado. Please give up this humility. Phate mora man. It's actually tearing apart my mind. Now you can just imagine what level of humility Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami is having. That Lord is telling, give up your humility. And for us, our superiors get tired. Are become little humble. What are you proud of? Become little humble. So in this way, humility is that criteria which attracts the attention of the Lord, which attracts the attention of the pure devotees, which attracts the mercy of the Lord and takes us back home, back to Godhead, to the eternal service of the Lordships. And here we see that those people who have got these 4, Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, they cannot be humble. The first violence that they start committing is to the animals. And meat eating is something which is their proprietor sinful activity. And they get into such activities, and obviously destination is what? Hell. Therefore, Papa and Punya in this world, both are Papa only. People might think Punya is very nice. No, it's not. If you have Punya, you'll get either of these 4. You have either of these 4, you'll commit Papa. Therefore, these 2 are Papa only. There's no question of Punya or something like that. Now here, these 2 personalities, when they were standing like that, Narada Muni is speaking all this, and it is described that Narada Muni, for the benefit of these two personalities, he cursed both of them. You want to be naked? Tathastu. Be naked. And how? How you will be naked? You will become trees. And then he adds on to that, you will become trees in Vrindavan. And then he adds on to that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will come to see you. Now, sometimes wonder that there are so many naked people going around. Why the number of trees are not increasing? Maybe in future it might increase. So this is basically etiquette, This is an etiquette where people understand when they come in front of divine personalities, be it in the temple in front of the Lord or be in front of the sadhus. They're always properly covered, properly dressed, and they'll be in a proper etiquette, proper mood. But what to do? And when it comes to the current age, day and age, if you start commenting on someone's looks and their attire, they feel very offended. Very offended. In fact, sometimes people are shameful also. When they come to the temple, they wear shorts and they come. Now, Mayapur, it's very strict. First time when I went to Mayapur Yatra, we were supposed to leave, so I wore 3/4. I just first year of my Krishna consciousness, and no mentor as such, in the yatra with me. I was thinking, train mein jana 3/4 pen ke jayenge. And then I entered the temple, and there were 3-4 security guards running behind me, to catch me. And I was wondering, what did I do? Then they said, ye chaddi pen ke nahi ghumna yahan. What to do? It's very intrinsic now in the age of Kali that to have to follow etiquette is very, very difficult. And here Narada Muni cursed them. You become trees in Vrindavan. Now let's try to analyze, is this curse is actually a curse or it's a blessing? It needs a lot of elaboration. I'll try to elaborate in whatever time we have. Firstly, when it comes to Narada Muni, see, whenever we see a person doing some activity, we cannot conclude about that person immediately. We should see the history of that person. Normally, judgment is given as soon as we see a person. That's not proper. So we see the history of the person, life sketch of the person, and then decide what sort of person he is. And here, when it comes to Narada Muni, he is known for delivering people from womb to tomb. Yes. He has delivered people in the womb. He has delivered people till the tomb. And we understand very clearly, Narada Muni, in every single pastime of his, he has just been delivering people from this material world. Let's begin one by one. Womb. Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is there in the womb. And his mother Kayadu with him. They were there with Narada Muni. And Narada Muni is giving Bhagavad Katha. And Mataji is sleeping. But Prabhuji is hearing. And it is described when the schoolmates, classmates, when they asked Prahlad that, how did you get this knowledge? And Prahlad Maharaj, innocent 5-year-old boy, he started saying that my spiritual master Narada Muni was speaking Bhagavad Katha, but then my mother was sleeping. But then I was hearing, and therefore I was reciprocating with what Narada Muni was speaking by saying, And Narada Muni was continuing. So this is the capacity of the speaker. It doesn't matter how many audience are sleeping. The preacher continues. It doesn't matter. Just for 1 or 2 also. It doesn't matter. Prahlad Maharaj, he heard Bhagavat in the womb itself. And he got so much of detachment that for 100 years he remained in the womb itself. Nice, no? And then he was like, everything is there. Why should I come out of this womb? I'm getting Krishna Katha. I'm there, nice, a nice bhajan kutir also. No tension, no exposure to outside world. Let me just be here. So, okay, Prahlad. He became such a wonderful devotee that when his father was torturing like anything, he just withstood everything. And he attracted the mercy of the Lord in such a way that Lord manifested for this small 5-year-old boy. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Ahlad Dadaine. The first line that we chant is not Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. Prahlad Ahlad Dadayine, the one who came to give pleasure to Prahlad Maharaj. Just imagine his level of bhakti. All credits to Narada Muni. I'm not giving, Prahlad himself gives all the credit to Narada Muni when Narasimhadev appears in front of him. Okay, small boy. After whom? Small boy. Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj with full Kshatriya mood. Where is that Vishnu? I want to meet him. With that full mood, is getting into the forest. And Narada Muni comes. Wait a minute, where are you going? What do you want? And Narada Muni says, you're a bacha. There's so many yogis who cannot attain Krishna. What you will attain? Chalo, leave. Jao ghar pe khelo. And it is described that this Dhruva had such intense desire to meet the Lord. Obviously, to get the property. Such intense desire that he told Narada Muni that if you can tell me how I can meet Vishnu, then okay, or else I'm moving. Hari bol. See you. And Narada Muni was stunned with the intense desire. And then he said, well, he gave a set of instructions. And that's how Dhruv Maharaj perfected his life, by following those instructions. So Narada Muni delivered Dhruv Maharaj. Youth boys. Yes, sons of Prajapati Daksha. So Daksha gave birth to 10,000 kids. And then he said, see, शादी करना है तुम सब लोग को. नहीं, आप लोग को नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. शादी करना है तुम सब लोग को. So go and do good tapasya. And they all went. And they were following proper brahmacharya. They were doing tapasya. And Narada Muni comes there. And then he sees, 10,000 youth boys. All already following brahmacharya. Already having inclination towards devotional service. This is the right time. This is the right time. And he goes there. And he nicely preaches to all of them. He tells them, see, you're already ripe. Already doing all this. Why you want to get into the samsara? And all of them, they were so obedient. All of them left. They didn't go to the Prajapati Daksha again. They just left and they became renunciants. And the news came, all your 10,000 boys have joined Brahmachari Ashram. My God. You can imagine what will be the state of Daksha Prajapati. And then Daksha Maharaj said, okay, chalo, no problem. Then he gave birth to 1,000 kids more, 1,000 boys. And he said, you all have to get married. So you should go and do tapasya. Anyone who was supposed to get married in Bhagavatam, all of them, if you see, they did a lot of tapasya. And now when people want to get married, all that they do is just talk to the girl whom they're getting married. And degrade their consciousness. And no question of elevating their consciousness and becoming eligible to protect the family. Look at the Bhagavatam, very clear Bhagavatam is. Tapasya, intense devotional service. And then when they were doing intense devotional service, again in the same place, Narada Muni came, hey, once again, looks like first year boys have come. He went there and this time the preaching was very simple. He just asked those 1,000 boys, youth boys, do you know what your elder brothers did? And they said that and then he gave clarity of what the elder brothers did. Your elder brothers, without entering into samsara, they directly went onto the path of attaining Krishna. So what are you people planning? You people should also follow their footsteps only. Hare Krishna. And all of them they left. And the news came. Daksha Prajapati. Again your 1,000 boys have joined Brahmachari Ashram. This time he was not quite. He cursed Narada Muni. Since you're preaching at one place for a long time, you're able to do all this. So I curse you. You'll not be able to stay in any place for more than 3 days. And Narada Muni was very happy. Now I'll go around and preach and make more brahmacharis around. Okay, adulthood. Narada Muni delivered whom in adulthood? Bragari, okay. Prachetas. And Pracheta's father, Prachina Barhi. So Prachina Barhi, he was there at home, very happy. Firstly, Narada Muni went and he told Prachetas, he made them nice devotees And then he comes to his father. Oh, now kids have become devotees. Father should also become devotee. He comes there. He gives the big allegorical story and then tells him, you should become a renunciant. And he's like, okay, let my kids come after that and I'll do the needful. Now, and even before his kids came, it is described, Prachina Bhari, he left the house, for eternal devotional service of the Lord. Narad Muni delivers people. And obviously, as Valmiki's case and Mrigari's case, both were hunters. Can you imagine Ratnakar Daku? He was preached by Narada Muni and he went on to become the author of the great epic Ramayana. Very big thing, very, very big thing. Now that personality's book has been read by many people and they're becoming devotees. And then when it comes to Mrigari, that was another level of preaching. The first thing that Narada Muni told was, why are you half killing animals? Kill them full. This was the googly for Mrigari. And Sadhu is saying, kill them full. And then he started asking questions. So always a preacher should have intelligence to make other people ask. And then you can conquer that person. And Mrigari started asking, why are you saying like that? And Narada Muni started his preaching to such an extent that he made Mrigari to break his bow and then to distribute all the opulence that he had in his house and called him and his family, asked them to sit in front of Tulasi and chant Hare Krishna. This is called ultimate preaching of Narada Muni. Delivered them. And we also see when it comes to tomb, Narada Muni is very good at taking people till that point also. Narada Muni's involvement in Krishna Leela. I was just meditating on this. Now when the first child was born, Vasudeva got the first child to Kans. And Kans was melted, his heart melted. Oh, look at his sincerity. He promised and he's there with his son. And then when the son was got, his heart melted. He said, no, it's okay. 8th son is going to kill, not the first son. And then the Narada Muni comes there and he does his service. And his service was killing those 6 sons. He told Kans, with what guarantee are you saying, or with what confidence are you saying that this was the first son? This can be the 8th one also. And he made them to count the lotus flower with 8 petals, starting with the first petal. And then he said, okay, now count from the 8th petal. Now 8th petal became the first petal. And then he was bewildered. Narada Muni bewildered him very nicely to such an extent that Kans sent the soldiers, got Vasudeva and Devaki, imprisoned them, killed the first child. And after that, all the 6 after that. Now 8th son is already born somewhere else. Who gave the idea to Kans to get Krishna to Mathura? Narada Muni. Narada Muni goes to Kans and he says that, you know what happened? Vasudeva, you was thinking that he's sincere. He is not. 8th son when he was born, it was he, not she. And that time Kans was completely bewildered. She? Is she only? It's not he. And then Narada Muni makes it very clear what happened on the day of Ashtami, Janmashtami. And he made it very clear that how Krishna appeared and how Vasudeva transferred. And it is described that Kans was extremely angry and was ready to kill Vasudeva and Devaki. And at that time Narada Muni said, don't do this foolish job. Get that boy here first. And Narada Muni gave various plans how to kill Krishna. He gave various plans. And then Narada Muni escaped. Now look, and then from here, then he goes to Krishna. Narada Muni goes to Krishna and then he is telling, you're just doing your leelas here. Who will kill those asuras there? You please come to Mathura and do something. And after doing the match fixing on both the sides, then the entire leela proceeds where Krishna comes to Mathura and then rest is history, which all of you know. So in this way we see that how Narada Muni, he facilitated, catalyzed the entire leela of the Lord. And along with that, by his mercy, Kans was killed and sent to the tomb and from there to Vaikuntha. So in this way, Narada Muni, see, anywhere and everywhere, Narada Muni has just delivered people. Nowhere he has done something where they were degraded. The first thing. And what was the curse that Narad Muni gave? Become trees in Vrindavan. I was hearing the glories of trees in Vrindavan. First and foremost, one thing we have to understand is to take birth in Vrindavan is not ordinary. It's extraordinary. To stay in Vrindavan is extraordinary. To leave body in Vrindavan, extraordinary. And not any Tom, Dick and Harry can take birth in Vrindavan. Not any Tom, Dick and Harry can go to Vrindavan and stay there till the last breath. And no one can just plan at the last moment, I'll give up my body in Vrindavan, I'm about to die, let me go to Vrindavan and stay there. No. Only by the permission of Vrinda Devi, by Srimati Radharani's permission, Krishna's permission, someone can stay in Vrindavan. No, that's not possible. That devotee who has received profuse mercy of the Lord, that person can become the Brajvasi there. And here we understand very clearly that when it comes to trees of Vrindavan, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, in his Vrindavan Mahimamrita, he glorifies the trees. And he says that the great sadhus of the past, who have done a lot of tapasya, they become trees in Vrindavan. Uddhav had this prayer that, oh Lord, please make me creeper, not tree. Please make me a delicate creeper or a grass in Vrindavan. Gulmalata. We have a place also, Uddhav Kund, where very nice things are displayed there, talking about this pastime. So we see that how great personalities like Uddhav was a student of Brahaspati. He wanted to become Gulmalata. He wanted to become a creeper in Vrindavan. Now just imagine when someone becomes a tree in Vrindavan, how glorious that person is. The tree takes birth in Vrindavan. The tree does not go out for preaching also. And the tree dies there only in Vrindavan. And goes back to Golok Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master's name? Ishwarapuri. His spiritual master's name? And Madhavendra Puri, in Goloka Vrindavan, his Swarupa is a tree. His Kalpa Vriksha in Goloka Vrindavan. Now can you imagine someone becoming a tree in Vrindavan? It's not ordinary. It's not ordinary at all. And here we understand very clearly that when it comes to being in Vrindavan itself is so great. And here taking birth in Vrindavan, staying in Vrindavan, and leaving the body in Vrindavan, so great, so very great. And anyone who does that, that personality is very dear to Krishna. Now Narada Muni Narada Muni cannot curse. We understood from his history that he has delivered people always. Okay, let's assume that he has curse. So what is the curse? Become tree in Vrindavan. Again, this is another very, very important thing to note. To become a tree in Vrindavan, it's a big, big, big blessing. It's a big benediction. And he has become a tree, or these two are getting an opportunity to become tree in Vrindavan. And where in Vrindavan? It's not that some corner somewhere. It was in the Angan of Nanda Maharaj. I was hearing my spiritual master's class in Hindi. He was telling, जो अंगना में आसक्त थे, वो आंगन में जन्म लिए. The ones who were attached to the females, they took birth, in what? The courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. Now, another very, very important thing. The trees were there outside, in the forest. Krishna would go and then once in a while they'll get darshan of Krishna. But here, the trees in the Angan, in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, they were so fortunate, so very fortunate, that every single day they would get darshan of Krishna. Not just darshan, Krishna would play around them, run around them, touch them, embrace them, play hide and seek. Now you can imagine the fortune of these two trees. Who says Narad Muni cursed them? It was a blessing in the guise of a curse. Very, very, very important. Therefore, great personalities like Narad Muni, they would not curse, they would always deliver. Let's move ahead and see what happened in the past time. Now these two trees are standing there, and Krishna is already bound to wooden grinding mortar. Mother Yasoda is busy in the kitchen. And Krishna started thinking, my devotee is working, she is doing seva, I am standing here, I should also do some seva. And he looks at the two trees. And it is described in the Bhagavatam very beautifully that how Lord Krishna started looking at the trees, and whom he remembered was Narada Muni. And he remembered Narada Muni's words. Satyam vidhatum nijabhritya bhashitam. So what Lord does? His devotees speak and they leave, rest Lord takes care. Lord will put all his energy, all his effort, all his planning just to fulfill that particular speech, that particular statement of his devotee. And here, Narada Muni had told that he will take birth in Vrindavan as trees, and then Supreme Personality of Godhead will come to see you face to face. And Krishna said, okay, my devotee has said this, let me go now. And he started going there. He started looking at the tree and he started crawling. Now, Mother Yasoda's entire plan of binding Krishna was that he will not leave the house. So she bound Krishna to wooden grinding mortar. That he will not leave the house, he will remain here, he will be safe. But I don't think she ever thought about ukhal becoming horizontal from vertical and then start moving. And it is described towards the end of this pastime. When Nanda Maharaj comes, he picks up Krishna, he unties him. And when Mother Yasoda gets to know what happened, she was completely baffled. She was very, very tensed. Ukhal ghum raha tha. What if, no, my son, something would have happened to him because of this ukhal or because of the trees or whatever. I am the cause. I am the cause of all this distress that my son has gone through. And she takes Krishna and she starts feeding the milk. And Krishna starts saying, yahin se chalu hua tha pura leela. Feeding the milk se lekar. And again back to milk. Coming back to the pastime. So he's rolling. He's crawling. And the ukhal is rolling behind him. Now he could have gone through any place. Masti dekhiye kitna hai. Two trees are standing and between the two trees, Krishna is crawling and going. Only Krishna knows what to do and how to do. When he wants to deliver someone, if that person is sincere, or if that person has got a lot of mercy of some great sage, great saint, great devotee, Krishna enters the heart of the devotee and cleanses the heart very nicely. Sometimes it pains a lot. Sometimes, all the time it will pain a lot because cleansing is happening. And when that cleansing is happening, it will pain, but the end result is very nice. The person will get delivered. And here Krishna entered between the two trees and then he is crawling, and it's described that ukhal got stuck, horizontal, no? It got stuck between the two trees. And Krishna is thinking, why am I not able to move? All natak. Then he looked behind and then he pulled the ukhal. And then it is described that how both the trees were uprooted. I'm not saying it broke, it uprooted and then it fell down. And these trees were there for many, many, many thousands of years standing erect in that particular place. And those trees got uprooted completely. Now our acharyas give analysis of this entire pastime, especially this pastime. They say that who actually delivered? Who delivered Nalakuver and Manigrave? And they themselves answer, Krishna? No, Krishna didn't deliver. Ukhal delivered. The wooden grinding mortar delivered the two trees. The question is, how come the ukhal can deliver? And then they say that anyone who follows in the footsteps of the Lord, or anyone who follows the Lord by executing his instructions, what happens? They are empowered to deliver not just these two trees, they're empowered to deliver the entire world. So many times when people say that I'm not qualified for preaching, here ukhal is qualified for preaching. What is your problem? Ukhal is qualified for preaching. Why? Ukhal is following the Lord. And who has taken the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord? All the great devotees. Yat pada samshrayashuta manaya prashamanaya. So it's described, the great devotees, they take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. And Lord is crawling. And this ukhal is following that lotus feet whose shelter these great devotees have taken. And the ukhal gets all empowerment to deliver these two trees. Another very, very important thing, following is there. But here, another very important qualification of this ukhal was, the ukhal was tied tightly to Krishna. जो भगवान में आसक्त है, anyone who is attached to the Lord, that person gets all the qualification to deliver anyone and everyone of this world. Therefore, it is described for Gaudiya Vaishnavas especially. Gaudiya Vaishnava devotee has the power to deliver not just one tract of land, not just one planet. It is described they can deliver many, many universes together. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. We have such great personality whom we know. So in this way, if we want to become a preacher, it's not about how great speaker you are, it doesn't matter how great singer you are, it doesn't matter what are your interpersonal skills. What matters is, am I following the Lord and His devotees or not? This is the question. This is the only question that is asked, and the answer should be yes, I am. Then that person is already a preacher. He can do a lot of service for the entire mission. Therefore, following in the footsteps of the great personalities by executing the instructions given by the Lord in the favorable mode is what is the qualification of a devotee who can deliver people of this world by becoming a preacher. And here we see when the two trees fell, two great effulgent personalities came into picture. And they were none other than Nala Kuvair and Manigriv. Now you know all these entire pastime is seen by small kids who are playing around. All of them are awestruck looking at this. And when this entire pastime happened, the trees fell, and then the elders who came, they were awestruck. These two trees who were standing from thousands of years, how did they fall? And they started asking all those kids who were there, how did these trees fall? And they all said, Ye Krishna aaya, ye Kanha. He came, he was crawling. The ukhal got stuck between the trees. He saw behind that he's not able to move. He pulled a little bit and the trees fell down. And all the elders who got frustrated hearing this. We are mad. No, we are talking to these people. I can just imagine the entire scene. There are tattva-darshis who have seen the truth. And there are people who are not hearing them. This is exactly the case of all the Baddha Jivas of this world. When tattva-darshis, the great acharyas, are speaking about the truth, they are like, Arey, pagal, kisne dekha hai spiritual world? And they are saying, humne dekha hai. No, we don't believe in you. These small kids are saying, humne dekha hai, we have seen. And this was the second time they were asking kids and they decided we'll never ask kids. First time was? No. When he kicked the cart. When he kicked the cart. Shakatasur Leela. So it is described that Krishna just touched the cart and then the entire cart toppled and all the thing that was there on the top fell all around. Ghee and makhan and milk and everything. And the great personalities, all the elders, they came out and they started asking, Kya hua? Again, those small kids were there around. We saw. We saw that this small boy, he started crying and he started shaking his legs, moving his legs, and his leg touched the cart and the cart toppled. Hey, pagal bacche log. Nahi puchna chahiye in log se kuch bhi. So anyways, coming back to the pastime. So these two personalities, they came out of the trees. They started offering prayers to Lord Krishna. They were circumambulating Krishna. And very, very wonderful prayer. A few verses only. And the first thing that these two personalities do is, they start offering their obeisances and gratitude to their spiritual master, Srila Narada Muni. Because they understand very clearly, only by the mercy of Narada Muni, we were trees in this Angan. And now, by His mercy, Lord has come. And by His mercy, Lord has delivered us. Who says Narada Muni cursed them? These two are only not accepting that it was a curse. They're saying it's a mercy, it's a blessing. This is what a great saint does. Wherever he goes, tirthi kurvanti tirthani swantastena gadavrata. Wherever they go, they convert that place into tirtha, not crematorium. And here we understand very clearly that these two, when they were watching the Leelas of the Lord, when they got mercy of Narada Muni, do you think they will remain ordinary, heavenly personalities? They had become nice devotees. And they had only one desire in their heart. And they expressed that desire to the Lord. Please repeat, everyone. Vani gunanu kathane Shravanau kathaya Hastau cha karmasu Manastava padayornaha Smrityam shirastava Nivasa jagat praname Drishti satam darshane Astu bhavattanuna. Since I split the verse, so I said astu. It is darshane stu. There is no a there. There is apostrophe there. Yes, darshane stu. Now look at their prayer. The same two personalities who are enjoying nicely in Kailash with naked girls, naked, intoxicated with wealth, intoxicated with the intoxicant Varuni. Now they are offering this prayer. This is called as transformation in the heart of a person when the person meets the saint. And here they have met Devarshi Narada, who has a track record of delivering so many people. And now look at their prayer. Vani gunanu kathane. They're saying, Oh Lord, please bless us so that our tongue always glorifies you, your name, form, qualities and pastimes. Your katha, only your katha. Please bless us. Shravanau kathayam. Please bless us that our ears are always engaged in hearing your glories, O Lord. Please bless us. Next, hastau cha karmasu. O Lord, please bless us so that our hands are always serving you. Always serving you for your pleasure. Fourth one, manaha tava padayornaha. O Lord, please bless us so that our mind is always engaged thinking about you, and especially padayor, that is lotus feet of yours. And then smrityam shirastava nivasa jagat praname. O Lord, remembering your glories, remembering your greatness, may our head bow down in awe and reverence to you. And then the next line says, drishti. What about the eyes? May this drishti, or may these eyes get darshan of your devotees always. And here a very nice word is used, bhavattanuna. Your own self. He's telling that all the devotees, they are the self of the Lord. They are the body of the Lord, tanu of the Lord. So in this way, they have offered pure devotional prayers to the Lord. This is the transformation that is there. From sense gratification to become selfless devotees. This is what happens when there is a touch of a great personality in life. That's what Srila Prabhupada did. Hippies to happies. And in between, it was a touch of Srila Prabhupada. And then what did Lord say after that? Very nice prayer again. Please repeat. Tadgachatam matam parao. Okay. Tadgachatam mat paramao. Nala kuvera sadhanam. Sanjato mai bhavo va. Ipsitaha paramo bhavaha. So here it is described, Tad gachatam mat paramo. So Lord is telling Nalakuver and Manigiri, now you go home. Now you go to your respective places. And then he says, since you have desired to be always absorbed in my devotional service, may you get that. He blesses these two personalities to become pure devotees, to remain pure devotees, and to render pure devotional service. This is the thing that Nalakuver and Manigriv attained by offending a great Vaishnav. Now we are eligible. Now we are ready to understand the shloka. Now I'll just go through the shloka and explain word by word, and we'll end for today. Let's chant the 7th verse of Dāmodarāṣṭakaṁ. Kuveratmajau baddha murtyaiva yadva tvaya mochitau bhakti bhajau kritau cha tatha prema bhaktin swakam me prayacha namokshe graho me Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakaṁ. So first word is clear. Kuver Atmajau, that was the entire pastime. The Atmaj of Kuvera, this was the pride which they also had. We are Atmaj of Kuvera. We are sons of Kuvera. What happened to them? Baddha Murtya. Who was Baddha? When these two got cursed, who was Baddha? Who was bound? Krishna was bound. Along with that, these two were also bound in the body of trees. They cannot do anything. They were bound. They were standing there. Baddha Murtya. Here our acharyas glorify the Lord so much, that Lord was tied. But then he didn't care about himself. He looked at the two trees. Oh, they are tied in this body of trees. I should deliver them without considering his own bondage. Our acharyas are glorifying. He just went there and delivered these two bound trees. Baddha Murtya. What he did? Mochito. He delivered them. That's a very nice thing to note, that they were not just liberated, but they attained something else also. And what is that? Bhakti or prema. Here very nicely it is described by Sanatana Goswami in Digdarshini Tika, that they were not awarded kaivalyam, impersonal liberation of merging, but they were gifted prema bhakti. That is mochito. They were delivered. And then it is described bhakti bhajau, kuver atmajau, baddha murtya, mochito, and then bhakti bhajau. So what is bhakti bhajau? Bhakti bhaja basically means the one who has taken shelter of bhakti. And we understand from the shloka very clearly. Vani gunanu kathane shaunau kathayam. They had taken complete shelter of devotional service. They had become bhakti bhajav at that time. So they are bhakti bhajam, bhakti bhajam. And then, so this is what is their situation. They were bound, they were delivered by the person who was bound, and they attained bhakti, mochito. Now Satyavrata Muni, he is saying, he is putting his desire forward in front of the Lord, and then he says, Tatha prema bhaktim swakam me prayacha. He says, Tatha, similar, like that. Oh Lord, I also want prema bhakti like them. Swakam me prayacha. Now, very nicely, the word prayacha, it says to give. So these personalities, you know what they're asking? These personalities are asking that, oh Lord, please give us prema bhakti. And a very, very important thing to meditate on, to contemplate on, that prema bhakti is not something which we can grab or get by ourselves. It is always prayacha. It is always given. Always given. Here also it's very clear. Look at our Shastra. It's all in line. You'll never see at one place it is said you can grab, another place it is said no, it has to be given. No, it's all given throughout. And it's very clear who gave it to them. Lord gave it. Narad Muni gave it. And he is saying, oh Lord, you please give me. You please give me prema bhakti. Now I had this question. That Lord said you go to your respective homes to heavenly planet. Then where is prema bhakti? If they would have got prema bhakti, they should have stayed back in Vrindavan, no? It means you get prema bhakti and go to heaven. Valid or not? That's what happened the entire pastime. They both came, they offered prayers, they circumambulated, and they left. They left. So this was the doubt that was nagging me so much. How is it possible? Someone gets prema bhakti and then he leaves Vrindavan. Someone is walking all the time witnessing the pastimes of the Lord. And then they leave Vrindavan. It's very difficult. They are not like I have boys who come and go. They have attained prema bhakti. What does that mean? Then I was satisfied with one answer which our acharyas give. They say that Nalakuver and Manigriv, they took birth in Vrindavan as two personalities, Snigdha Kantha and Madhu Kantha. So these two personalities, their seva was going to different houses and just glorifying the Lord. Glorifying the pastimes of the Lord. This is during the manifest pastimes of the Lord. This is what was their service. This was very satisfying. Okay. Now this is matching with the philosophy that is there. So Prema Bhaktas, they're still there in Vrindavan. And now here, the last word that comes. Tatha Prema Bhaktim Swakam me prayacha namokshe graho mesti Damodara iha. Now Lord might tell, why are you talking about bhakti? Bhakti, I'll give you moksha, take moksha. And you will see throughout this entire song in different places, Satyavrat Muni very clearly, very distinctly, he's telling again and again, I don't want moksha. He's very clear about that. And he's very clear, I want prema bhakti. I want your entire form to be in my heart. And then he rephrases in the next stanza, no, I want this beautiful form of yours in my heart. And then he makes it very clear in this also, na mokshe graho. I don't want moksha. I don't want moksha. And then he says, iha. I want that prema, tatha prema bhakti, only that I want for myself. And Sanatana Goswami says that iha is like Satyavrat Muni is pointing to Vrindavan and he's like, iha, I want prema bhakti here in Śrī Vrindavan Dham. So in this way we see that how this entire 7th verse is a very beautiful pastime where the big sense gratifiers, they became selfless, pure devotees, premi bhaktas of the Lord. And here Satyavrat Muni giving that example. He is saying, see, I am also not qualified, but oh Lord, there you give me also. Tatha prema bhakti, please give me also. So in this way, these pastimes which are there, that gives us a hope. Oh, sense gratifiers can also get place in Vrindavan Dham. Yes. Even personalities like Putana can get place in Goloka Vrindavan. So surely, by the mercy of the Lord and his pure devotees like Narada Muni, by their mercy, surely I will also get delivered. So when we hear such pastimes, the one thing that becomes very clear is anyone who is sincere and who receives the mercy of pure devotees of the Lord takes charge of them and delivers them. And what do you mean by delivers them? Gives them Krishna Prem. Gives them the opportunity to render eternal devotional service. So this is the 7th verse where Satyavrat Muni is again hankering and telling us what to hanker for. And then he says, Prema Bhakti. I don't want anything else. Thank you very much. So Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakaṁ ki, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki.